because we're going to have some opening remarks. But before we get things started, I'm going to ask the chairman of the Republican Party of the state of Massachusetts, Mr. Jim Lyons, to please come up and say a few words. Jim.
Thank you very much, John. Thanks for all you do. John, quiet these people down.
All right, folks, quiet down, please.
I got my bicycle out front, John. Folks, it's great to see you all tonight. I want to ask each and every one of you a question. One quick question. Are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? No! President Biden and the radical Democrats have one goal, and that goal is to destroy our great country. And we must stop them, and we must stop them in Massachusetts. The Democrats in Massachusetts just gave driver's licenses to illegal immigrants. We need your help to defeat that in November. Will you help us? I can't hear you. President Biden and the radical left told us during the 2020 campaign exactly what they were going to do. They told us they were going to shut down the oil industry. And we're seeing $5 a gallon gasoline prices because that is what they want. In 2020, every one of us remember the riots that came to the major cities of America. Every one of us remember when those riots came to the city of Boston. Maura Healey, the top law enforcement agent and officer in our state, had this to say: America is burning, but that's how forests grow. Folks, I want you to remember what I just told you. Joe Biden told us what he wanted to do, and so did Maura Healey. They simply want to burn America down to rebuild it in their image. They want to take away our freedom. They want to take away our liberty. They want to take away the America that each and every one of us love. We have to stand up and fight. I want to thank John and every veteran here for what they've done for this great country. And I urge each and every one of you to stand behind our candidates. We have to vote straight Republican in November. We must defeat the radical left. This is our time. The line is in the sand. John, thank you for everything you have done.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Lyons. All right, so I'm going to go through a little house rules here. We got a lot of candidates tonight. We got a lot of people. We're going to restrict this to 4 minutes for each candidate. All right, 4 minutes. We got plenty to say in 4 minutes. I know that. So, once again, welcome to the Mass GOP Republican Rally. As Jim had said, I'm John McDonald on behalf of my co-host, Jason Ross. Thank you for coming. Thank you especially to the Athenian Corner, Teddy Panos, and his family for having us here tonight for this historic event. Folks, you are here tonight to witness and experience history. I encourage you to Facebook Live this event, get on your phones, show the world we have the most diverse slate of candidates in the history of Massachusetts. That's right, Democrat or Republican, here we are. Unlike the Democrats, we Republicans embrace our candidates based on the content of their character, not by the color of their skin, as Martin Luther King once said. Yes, we support our candidates based on their platform, their character, and their passion to serve. Diverse is our backgrounds, but together as one, based on our mutual beliefs. Diverse. All right, can everybody quiet down? Diverse. But we come here together as one, as Republicans, as Americans, diverse citizens born here, or as legal, naturalized citizens who choose America, choose to bring something to the table, choose to be part of the American dream. We are Republicans that stand for liberty and freedom. Liberty and freedom. I don't get an applause for liberty and freedom. Are you shitting me? Let's go. Come on. Let's go here, folks. Let's get rallied up here. This is a rally. This isn't a wait. This isn't a funeral. Come on. Let's get it on. Let's go. Okay. And so finally, and we choose to fight for and uphold our God-given rights as Americans. Rights earned and a check cashed with the blood of our forefathers and secured with the pure guts of our veterans and active duty military. Our diversity as a party stands together to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America. Folks, again, historic, the most diverse slate of candidates in the history of Massachusetts, put together by your chairman, Jim Lyons. That's right. That's right. So again, a couple housekeeping rules. I encourage you, first of all, I want you to tip your bartenders. I want you guys to drink as much adult beverages as legal within the legal limit. I want you to buy as much water as you can have, and again, tip your bartenders as much as you can. Again, I'm going to invite candidates up, and the candidates are going to stand right here, not on the stage, because I'm going to sit here and I'm going to boot you off the stage if you try to come on the stage. You're going to speak right here. Okay, and I'm going to introduce different people throughout the night. They're going to come up. 4 minutes, please. Jason Ross, stand up. All right, Jason Ross is going to give you the evil eye at 3 minutes, and he's going to have me cut off your microphone at 4. So please, we got a lot of candidates tonight. This is very exciting. I'm so glad to have everybody here, but we have like 13 candidates. Probably a total of 20 people here for this rally that are going to speak. So I'm excited. I hope you're excited. Are you excited? Outstanding. I see Dean Trans in the house. Dean Trans in the house? Dean, we're going to have you come up. You're number 11, just so you know. So you got a little bit of while, so sit down and enjoy yourself. Number 11, you're going to be up in 11 because, you know, he's in our district here. And so, you know, I got to keep him some of the best select. Well, I know Jeff Deal's going to be coming any minute, so we got Jay McMahon that's going to be coming tonight. So we got all kinds of people coming, and it's going to be very exciting. But the first person I'm going to introduce, I'm going to say, is Hamilton Rodriguez? Oh, okay. This guy, okay, talk about it. Here we go. This guy is an animal. I've seen him on Facebook. He is wild. He is crazy. We love him. He's running for U.S. Congress. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Hamilton Rodriguez. Come on up. Give us 3 minutes. Right here. Run on the stick. Here we go.
3 minutes. Go ahead.
Wow, I'm going first here. This is a tough one. Thank everyone for giving me this platform to speak today. My name is Hamilton Rodriguez. I'm running for U.S. Congress. I'm actually going to wing this speech, not use the one that I wrote, because I only have 4 minutes. 3 minutes, right?
I got to get to the back.
I understand this is the veterans put on this occasion today. And basically, my plan when I get to Washington, D.C. is to help out the veterans, get the services that they need. Right now, housing is an issue for veterans. Medical attention is an issue for veterans. And there should be no reason why housing is an issue for veterans in this country. We have the HUD. There's a program right now called, it's been around for years, called the HUD-VASH program. I'm not understanding why the HUD-VASH program is not publicly advertised to veterans. And there should be housing opportunities for veterans. There should be no reason why veterans come from war or live in this country homeless and so on and so forth. My plan is to centralize all services for veterans, all in one-stop shop for veterans. There should be an agency out there, so when veterans come back from war, or veterans that have been retired, or veterans that are suffering from other mental illnesses, drug addictions, and so on and so forth, I want to create an agency just for that. They can go to one-stop shop and take care of whatever veteran businesses that are available. My wife's a nurse with the VA hospital. That's why I'm passionate about veterans. I see the way she comes home every day. She's kind of sad sometimes. She sees a lot of trauma in the hospital. Don't want to get into it, but you know, I'm passionate about veterans and this country. Protect us for this country. I'm passionate about America. I'm passionate about making America great again. And I'm passionate about keeping America great. Whoever's in the congressional district, please vote for me because I'm going to work in the United States government in Washington, D.C. I'm not taking any crap from anyone. I'm not there to make friends. I'm here to get your vote, put me in office, and watch me work and see what I can do. Thank you for your time.
How about that, huh? How about that? That is unbelievable. All right, next I'm going to bring up, he's the state committee man for the 1st Middlesex. He's a friend. He is an ally. He is a connoisseur of fine wines. Dennis, I'm extending this as much as I can to get you up here. He is officer and a gentleman, but most of all, he's the hardest working guy in the Merrimack Valley for all of our candidates. He's my friend. He's your friend, Mr. Dennis Galvin.
Thank you very much, John. All right. Take a little training session here, everybody. All right, we're all going to go out and have a hard job to do. You're going to get attacked primarily as fascists, okay? So you got to understand how to fight that. Fascism has 4 elements. Number 1, supremacy. You have to think that you're better than everybody else. 2, creates a big lie saying that we're going to accomplish something at the expense of somebody else. 3, hate. They gotta have people to hate all the time. It doesn't work. It energizes them. Number 4, they have to have control, and they get control by bringing everything into the government. Now, we've been accused of that. Anybody here remember Forrest Gump? Okay, what was the key line in Forrest Gump? Stupid is as stupid does. Take stupid out of the equation, put fascist in. Now say it together. Fascist is as a fascist does. You got it. Think about who we're up against. They're supremacists, right? Look at Dr. Fauci. He thinks he knows more than everybody else, right? 2, their false lie is that they know better than you how to handle things like globalism, how to handle climate change, how to handle nuclear war, and racial injustice, okay? They are the experts. Bullshit, okay? Number 3, hatred. Hatred drives it. So what's the hatred? The hatred is number 1. Well, think about Obama. He said we're all bitter clingers, right? Think about Hillary. Deplorables. How many people here, if you go out and profess a Christian viewpoint, are going to get attacked for it out in the street? If you're Jewish, God forbid, anti-Semitism is going up, and it's not from right-wing terrorists, it's from socialists that are coming after them. And the last thing is, I don't need to tell you that everything is being centralized, right? And remember the words of David Ishmael, who was the climate king for none other than Charlie Baker, when he was asked how to deal with emissions. He says what we have to do is we have to crush the will of the people. That's fascism, okay? So remember, we got to go out and fight it. We got to go out and defend ourselves, because if we don't win, they're going to destroy us all. Thank you.
And that's why Dennis Galvin is Dennis Galvin. All right, next. Before we get too far, I want to introduce one hell of a guy. He's a close personal friend of mine. He's involved with so many winning political campaigns through the years, for decades and decades, 40, 50 years. He's been the chief political strategist on countless Republican campaigns. I want to introduce and have him stand up. He's a great friend of mine, Mr. Robert Platt. All right, next, let's see, next, who do we have? Number two, and she is local, she's running for state rep, she is a marvelous person, we're excited she stepped up to the plate. Let's put our hands together for the next state rep here in Lowell, Massachusetts, Miss Carla Miller. Come on up.
time. Believe it or not, this is the first time I've had a
Hold it close to your face.
and
Hold
I'm
it.
wicked nervous.
Hold it close. Hold
Oh,
it
closer?
real close. Real
All
close.
right, thank you, John.
Closer.
Thank you for your service.
Closer. All the way up.
Okay. I just want to say, I don't feel like I'm in a room with a bunch of politicians.
Quiet, everybody, please.
Should I start again? All right. I don't feel like I'm in a room with a bunch of politicians. I feel like I'm in a room with people that can
It's not working in here.
Speakers out.
You got
It's not out.
You gotta be.
You just gotta put it right up here to your mouth.
You gotta
just
speak
like
up.
this. Just
Speak
like
up.
this. There you go.
And speak louder.
Start again.
All right.
Carla Miller, everybody. Here we go.
Close. Close.
Again, I don't feel like I'm in a room with a bunch of politicians. I feel like I'm in a room with a bunch of people that give a damn. I think we're a group of hardworking, tax-paying, middle-class Americans that are just trying to make a difference. We are trying to stop the chaos that the left extremists have created. They never seem to solve any problems in this state. They just create more problems. The progressives do not care what the average American wants. They ignore the fact that they are being paid by and elected to represent the people of Massachusetts. I hope this is a reckoning for every one of them who we are challenging in this election. I want to wish everyone luck, everyone that's running, and I hope you can make it. I hope you can make it to Dean Tran's fundraiser on Thursday night in Chelmsford. And if you do plan to attend, please let me know. And thank you very much for having me. Thank you for Teddy Panos for hosting this. And that's it.
There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Carla Miller! All right, I want to talk about a little bit about diversity, which, you know, again, the media seems to want to ignore. You know, they're calling some of my nicest friends and my candidates that happen to be, you know, naturalized citizens coming from other countries, made their home here in the United States. They're calling them racists, and they're calling them bigots, and they're calling them all kinds of nasty names, you know, that are absolutely outrageous. Well, a guy who's put up with a lot of nastiness, but is an outstanding guy. I consider him a friend. He's been working extremely hard. He's been going inside his district, outside his district. He is the first. He will be the first candidate in Congress to openly declare that he is gay. He is a good friend. His name is Jeffrey Sousa Paquette. I want him to come up and talk to you and introduce himself. A true American, ladies and gentlemen, Jeffrey Sousa Paquette.
All right, so I'm no better with this microphone than anybody else. I hate it. All right, so, you know, my name is Jeffrey Sousa Paquette. I'm running for Congress in District 2 against Congressman Jim McGovern. What I want to do is first, all my veterans, thank you very much. Very hard to get the national endorsements. That took about 6 months to get those endorsements, and they had lots of questions and lots of boards to move through, so I'm proud that we were able to get that endorsement about a month and a half ago. And you know, when we hear everybody, right, everyone's called, we're racist, we're homophobe, all of these things. I've been called a homophobe or whatever that David would tell us we're being called today. Why? Because I introduced the Teachers Accountability Act so that when I come to DC, I can make it pointedly clear. If you choose to indoctrinate our children, hide any crises that is happening with our children, we will prosecute you, and in the off chance that a child commits suicide, we will hold the school and the teacher accountable and prosecute you for that. So we started that blowback about 12 hours ago, so we'll watch where that goes over the next week. But today we put that out. And so when we go to the next thing, and so if everyone's following me, one of the things we always say as Republicans is the breakdown of family, the breakdown of religion, and breakdown of our communities. If everyone looks on my page, I put out a great piece on this about 5 days ago and explained how are our churches breaking down, what is happening in our communities, and what's basically keeping people from going to church, which then builds communities and stuff. So I encourage you to take a look at that and stuff for our veterans and stuff. What I'm proposing there, everyone, if you know anything about South Carolina or different laws, I believe that not only should our veterans not pay property taxes, federal taxes, any of those. In Massachusetts, we have 320,000 veterans. 66,000 veterans in Massachusetts do not have appropriate housing. It's for me, that's going to be one of the first things in my first 100 days to figure out what committee do I need to be with in team so that we can solve that. I don't understand, not only in the richest country in the world, but one of the most successful states in our country, how we could possibly have 66,000 veterans that do not have appropriate housing. I look forward to getting to know all of you, and thank you.
Thank you. Dennis Galvin, can you come up here, please?
Yes, sir.
All right, I've been given the honor. There are a lot of people that are coming out now and standing up and moving forward to actually represent and defend the values of this country. And I have the pleasure of introducing one of those people right now. Never was involved in politics before. Has been involved as a teacher and basically taking this thing full brunt on her own. Has had enough and said it's time to do something. It is my great honor and privilege to introduce to you, I think, our next state representative from the 2nd Middlesex District, 1st Middlesex District, Lynn Ashenbaugh.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Lynn Archambault. Joe Biden, at one of his very few press conferences, said, "What are Republicans even for?" With that insulting comment, he further divided our country. So I'd like to answer what Republicans are for by asking some of you some questions. Have you or someone you've known in the past few years been afraid to say who you voted for or where you stand on an issue? I'm tired of hearing my friends, conservatives, my family being afraid to say they're Republican. We should be proud to be Republican. Our country is based on freedom of speech. We should not be censored. Are you comfortable with teachers telling your kids they're victims? No. Are you comfortable with teachers telling your kids they're oppressors? No. I'm a public high school teacher. I know what's happening right now. We were told in August that white kids should feel guilty for being white. That's a direct quote from the trainer. We were told that the United States of America is the most racist country in the world. I refuse to believe that. Are you okay with thinking that our country could have fraud in its elections? No. I'm not okay with that. It is fair to ask for a photo ID at elections. It is not fair to give driver's license to illegal immigrants so they can possibly vote. That is inviting voter fraud. How many of you who know a senior citizen who's struggling right now with health care costs or paying their property taxes? With extreme property tax rising all the time, our seniors are suffering. We need to fight for more affordable housing for our seniors, and we need to cap their property tax at at a certain age. They deserve the United States to stand up for them. And our veterans. Our veterans have put their lives on the line for us. We owe them. I talked to a couple people in my district who took care of vets that were exposed to Agent Orange in the Vietnam War, their loved ones. They struggled getting help from the Mass VA. That is not okay. We need to do better for our vets. How many of you here believe in the American dream? I've seen it happen firsthand. But right now, with inflation, fuel prices, the high cost of housing, we need to do something. Our American dream is fading for our youth. We need to repeal the gas tax in this state, put more money back in the pockets of our citizens. And finally, let me ask you one last question. Are you happy with the state of Massachusetts today? No! I thought so. So let's vote Republican November 8th. Thank you very much.
Wow, now we know who's going to be the next state rep here in this case. Unbelievable, unbelievable. All right, well, we're moving along here, but before I introduce our next political candidate, I wanted to ask a good friend of mine, Alex Veras, to come up and say just a few words. Alex! Get right on that mic, Alex.
Hello. In all parts, as you know, somebody saying, "Who let the bouncer, well-dressed bouncer, come up here and talk?" But as my good friend here, John, said earlier, yeah, this is the most diverse group of candidates, and for years, those of you who know me, love and fighting. With this party, we can't be in the burbs. We got to be downtown, because that's where elections are won. Because many of you look at the map and like, wow, we won all this territory. But you're not going to win losing Boston 10-1. And I want to say this, and I went with Dean Tran, a couple other, and Jay McMahon, a few other candidates. The reception we got in Lawrence was phenomenal. We marched this Saturday in the St. Square Parade. And there were more Republicans marching that parade than Democrats. We cannot give up the cities of the Commonwealth, because the urban hell that is the cities of the Commonwealth, the cities of this country, will come to you in the burbs. Trust me, it will. And they've clearly said that. We have to adopt the tactics of the Democrats, as if my good friend here, Angel Pantoja, is running what, New Bedford? Fall River. Everybody here should throw him a check, because the Democrats will do that. They don't care. I mean, they could be in Haverhill, where I'm from. Hey, there's a young kid running in on Springfield. I'm there. Instead, we make the excuse, it's far away. No, because they know at the end of the day, it's about power, it's about winning. And we got to adopt that. We can win. Clearly, we win in the land. We can win these people, because I can take the same Hispanic in this state, put him in Florida, and that guy's voting Republican. Why? Because they knock on the door and they say, hey. But I also give credit to the senator from Florida, Rick Scott. When asked by consultants, what do you think? He asked consultants, what do you think of reaching out to Latinos? Oh no, they're never going to vote for us. I respectfully disagree with you, and show them the way out the door. We are all Americans here, whether you are from Greece, whether you're from the Dominican Republic where my parents are from. We are Americans, and they are coming after us. If they said it, they're coming after us. We have to support our candidates. I hope we can do this again next year for our municipal candidates, and we should do this. I'll throw money in. I'm young, single, and good looking. But also, we need to take care of our vets, because I wore the uniform. I wasn't much of a soldier, but it taught me organizational skills and things of that nature. What a young lady I dated, to see how the VA treated her, no American should go through that. And it is a shame that we ask the youngest and the best and the brightest to go serve in countries that some of us can't find, well, I can find them, on maps, and to come back and to see somebody jump the border. Oh, here's everything, here's a license. That is wrong, that is sinful, that is a shame. And we need to rectify that. We need to start voting Republican. Stop listening to our friends and say, well, you know, my dad was in the Union. Your dad was a conservative and would not have room in today's party. And like I said, you know, I may take the plunge next year in Haverhill because we're going to award system, and we need your checks. And I also run a page on Facebook called Massachusetts Minority Republican Coalition. And those of you that know me know I post some of the thought-provoking things about what the GOP in the state needs to do. Folks, I thank you for the time. God bless America. And remember, eat pork children from minute one.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex! Woo! Again, Alex said the one thing that is a consistent theme tonight, that this is the most diverse slate of candidates in the history of Massachusetts. Where is the press on this? Where are they? This is the most diverse. I don't care if it's Democrat or Republican, the most diverse slate of candidates, and it's shown here tonight, and it's unbelievable. And as we're moving along here, the next gentleman I'm going to introduce, he's a candidate. Alex just mentioned him. He's a candidate for state rep down there in Fall River. Angel Pantoja. How did I do, Alex? How did I do? Pantoja. All right.
Thanks for putting me on the spot.
You got it.
First go around here. I'm new to politics fairly in Massachusetts. My name is Angel Pantoja. I'm a Marine combat veteran. 2 combat tours. Iraq and Afghanistan. I'm the first running for the seat ever in Fall River searchable history. I'm glad to be here with you. I'm glad to be here with conservative.
Right close to your mouth. There you go.
I'm glad to be here with our brothers and sisters, our conservatives. I'm glad to be with you here as Americans. Thank you. I love the volume in this room. This is amazing. The support is amazing. I'm from a city right now that's corrupted, very corrupted political landscape. I'm here because I want to change this. And one of my reasons right now for changing it is sitting right over here. My son, Lowell. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our future. I refuse to stand by and watch the extreme left tear down my city, tear down my state. I refuse to let them indoctrinate children like my son. I refuse for them to tear down our buildings, our roads, and leave them neglected. I refuse the neglection of our senior citizens who have been working all their lives, that have earned every tax dollar. I refuse to let them mismanage our hard-working dollars. No more. I stepped up to the plate and I said, you know what? I'm going to do this, okay, because it's the right thing to do. We've got so many outstanding candidates here, outstanding leaders, people like Jeff Deal, people like Rayla Campbell, who is not afraid to speak up to the extreme left, okay? It is not acceptable what's going on in Fall River. We've got immigrants coming in undocumented. We've got them getting licenses now, okay? No more. And I'm glad to be here with you guys. A minute. We go on and on. But I'm glad to be here with you guys. I'm glad to be in the fight with you. And I hope to have your support during this campaign. Thank you so much. God bless America. God bless Lowell.
God bless you, Angel. Outstanding, outstanding. All right, so we're going to take a 10-second pause because there's this flaming dish that the Athenian Corner is famous for. So we need to clear the aisle because this flaming dish is going to be coming through. I want everyone to order one tonight. But first, you're going to see it on display. Look at this. Woo! That's what made the Athenian Corner famous for decades and decades and decades. It's delicious. It's got sausage. It's got cheese. I couldn't pronounce it if they put a gun to my head. But it's unbelievable. All right. So next, I'm going to introduce a candidate who really, at this point, needs no introduction. And after I introduce her, I'm going to ask all the candidates to come up because it would be nice to have all the candidates who are here for one big picture so we can, once again, show the press. Show the press. We have the most diverse slate of candidates in the history of Massachusetts. It's not the Democrats, it's the Republicans, baby. That's right. So again, a woman who needs no introduction. She's made headlines across the state. She is running for Secretary of State. She's running against... We know him. Darth Vader, Bill Galvin, but hey, I didn't say that. Keep it a secret amongst us, huh? Rilla Campbell, you dare race against me? How dare you come to the dark side, Rilla? I need you to change your party to the Democratic Party, but she won't do it. Ladies and gentlemen, Rilla Campbell!
Wow, thank you all so much. Good evening, everyone. As you all know, I am Rayla Campbell, and I am running for Secretary of State. I am a fighter. I am a hard worker. The reason why I got in this battle is because Bill Galvin broke the law and violated my constitutional rights to keep me off the ballot. Hey, peanut gallery in the back, could you quiet it down? I'm talking.
That's right. Quiet down.
We are in the battle right now of our lives. This is so important that we're protecting our elections, that we are not allowing illegals to be automatically registered to vote when they get illegal driver's license that goes against our Constitution. So we do have a ballot referendum, and when we get those papers, we are going to need your help and your support to make sure that this does not happen, because it's not going to happen under my watch. They told us that asking for IDs was racist. Remember that? Everything is racist, but I'm also known as Massachusetts #1 white supremacist. If you can't be strong enough to take the hits from these Democrats, then you should not be out there running. You've got to have your voice. You've got to stand strong in your conviction. God, family, country. Our veterans put their lives on the line so that I can stand here today, fighting for our children, fighting for our futures, making sure that we have transparency, accountability, free and fair elections, as our forefathers put it in writing for us. We all know what's going on as parents. So a lot of people think, oh, the Secretary of State's office only has to do with elections. It's only elections. Wrong. The keeper of records are FOIA requests that we don't know what's going on. That goes through the Secretary of State's office. Do you know who's on the board of trustees for libraries in Massachusetts? That would be the Secretary of State. Allowing these perverted books to go into our public libraries. What we see going on is child porn. And it needs to be stopped. And I'm going to make sure I put an end to that. This is our country. I will die for this country, as so many have already done before me. My children are my future. They are my legacy. My beautiful mixed children. They're both Irish and African American, so they're both the oppressor and the oppressed and the double oppressed because they're Irish. I'm British, so oh my gosh. But that is why we've got to fight so hard. We are not a racist country. We are not a racist party because the Republicans were the ones that went and freed the slaves. Remember what they have done. And we need to stand strong, not be afraid, get Republican. I'm proud, I'm strong, I love all of you. Please follow me on Facebook. We're so close to 20,000 followers. But thank you guys so much. God bless you all.
We have a temporary situation here where we have a lovely Canadian dish of deliciousness floating past everyone. Could I please have all the political candidates up to join Rayla? I want to get a nice photo before people start, I want to get a nice photo, so bring up all the candidates.
Sorry.
Oh, he's going to, the thing is not over. I just want to make sure I get all of the candidates. So people are worried the candidates haven't talked yet. We got a lot more to come. So I want to get candidates up here. I want photographers up front. Jason, I want you to get a nice photo of all this. And as soon as we get all the candidates up here, all right, Jeff, come on, Jeff Deal. We'll get you in the middle here. Dean Tran, let's go. Come on, let's hug it. Let's get together. Let's pretend we love each other. Lynn, come on over. Carla, let's get Carla. We got Donnie Palmer in the house. Donnie Palmer's in the house. All right, here we go. We got everybody. Hold on. And not everybody can join in the corner, so you have to. A couple of you have to get on stage here. All right, let's open up the speaker. Let's open the speaker door. And I'm not a candidate, so I'm going to get down. Hold on. All right. Listen, right here. Just watch out for the speaker. Here we go. All right, take the photos. Let's go. The most diverse slate of candidates. Come on up. Get in there. Hold on. We got everybody. Now we got everybody. Take the photos. 1, 2, 3. Smile. All right. We're gonna get 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, disperse. There we go. Very good. All right, well. All right, next. Next, now that we have everybody here, Hamilton, you stay with me. Now that all our candidates are here, not everybody was here. We're going to continue to bring candidates up. I see Joe McMahon in the house. I see Jeff Deal is in the house. I see everybody's in the house. But now that everybody's here, I want to do 2 things. One, I would like to do a prayer. Hamilton's going to do a prayer. And lastly, I want to do the Pledge of Allegiance. So here we go. Hamilton, please.
I would like to pass this mic on to my brother, Jamil.
Get it, come back and I'll...
He's going to do a prayer for us.
Thank you. Sorry.
Brother Jamil's going to do a prayer. Let's bow our heads.
Oh Lord, our preserver and protector, our creator, to whom we are grateful for everything that we have. Lord, we thank you for this opportunity to break bread together. Bless the hands that made the food, Lord, and bless our bodies and nourish our bodies. Give us the strength to go out tomorrow and fight again. And help us fight the good fight. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. Next, we don't necessarily have a flag, but I think it would be good to do, I would like to have, well, we have the balloons, but I would like to have Brian Janest, the state committee man for we have shoes, but I don't think we ought to be doing the Pledge of Allegiance to your shoes, as much as I like it, Rayla. We're not doing the shoes, but I have Brian Janest, state committee man for the state of Massachusetts, Mass GOP, come up and do our Pledge of Allegiance. Brian?
Give me the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Could I ask upgrades to come up in the next
next introduction, please.
Now, folks, we have one candidate that's down for the count tonight, couldn't make it. His name is Bruce Chester, Army vet, great guy. And to speak for Bruce tonight, we have Mr. Scott Graves. Let's put our hand together for Scott.
You gotta be loud. I just want y'all to know first, I was a band director for many years, so if you're not loud enough, I'm gonna make you do band jumping jacks. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very pleased to be here tonight. I am Bruce Chester's campaign manager in the 2nd Worcester District. It's also incidentally good to be in Lowell again. I lived in this city for 10 years, to school here, and have a soft spot in my heart for all of our mill towns and former mill towns here in the great Commonwealth. Bruce's focus, he is a 18-year veteran of the United States Army. All right, now that we have your attention. And we have some pretty serious problems. The 2nd Worcester District is unique. We have several deindustrialized communities that only deindustrialized very recently, unlike cities like Fall River and Lowell, where some of that happened over the course of a century. It's really a new thing for us in Gartner and in places like Winchton. So the focus of Bruce's campaign is very much various kinds of economic development, especially initiatives that we can take that can keep money invested locally and keep it cycling in our local economy and not have it be extracted outside of our local communities. We also have a problem with transparency. To give you an example, and also accessibility to our state rep and to other members of our municipal. An example of it, in March, our city council voted to reduce and eliminate the various ways that community members can stand up during public comment periods during our city council meetings. In fact, since March, we've had police officers stationed at all city council meetings to prevent people from standing up and demanding a public comment period during new business. Doesn't sound very democratic, does it? No. So that's the focus of his campaign. Again, very pleased to be here. BruceChester4rep.com. You can find out more information about Bruce's platform. And the campaign is already very active. It's going to continue to be active. Our opponent, John Zlotnick, as he did last time, so far has not agreed to any public open events with Bruce. He's not been seen, and he has no comment on actually actively campaigning with us whatsoever. Again, it doesn't sound very democratic, does it? We're about the fundamental democratic process, about transparency and accessibility. That's what's important. So, and I'm very pleased to see this kind of unity within this party, because that's what it's going to take for all of these candidates for the House and the Senate and for Congress and for the federal Senate to win, and for governor. Don't forget the governor of the great Commonwealth. So thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Is Francisco Urena still in the house? Come on down, sir. Come on down. Let me tell you something, folks. There's a reason why I have all these Republican candidates in here. Republicans, as I like to say, I didn't ask any rhinos here tonight. All right? Few rhino candidates out there, and no admission, please. So, one of the guys who really needs no introduction, but I'll introduce him anyway, because he has been one of the leading figures in Massachusetts on behalf of our veterans. He's the former Massachusetts Secretary of Veteran Services for the state of Massachusetts. But let me tell you a little bit about Francisco Urena. It was in 2006, I believe, Francisco, the Mother's Day floods. Mother's Day floods up in Lawrence. The waters were licking the sides of the Merrimack and flowing into the neighborhoods. I was working up at Riverwalk Properties along the Merrimack River, and water was pouring into the newly renovated restaurant. Neighborhoods were in distress. People were losing their homes. They couldn't get their stuff out. A gentleman was flying back just coming back from the service, and that was Francisco Urena. Literally came home, stepped on the ground, took off his uniform, put on a t-shirt and shorts, and got to work. He knows what it's like to be on a battlefield. He knows what it's like to fight for our veterans. He's been doing it for 20 some odd years. He's been fighting. He's been out there. And you know what? He got the shaft from Charlie Baker, let me tell you that. He got thrown under the bus by Charlie Baker. That's right, the rhino of all rhinos. Francisco's a friend. We have defended him tirelessly. He needs no defense because he was vindicated by the Spotlight team of the Boston Globe. And you know how difficult that is. Vindicated because there was proof and there were facts. And you know what? Francisco stood up and he stood tall. He's a United States Marine. He's a Purple Heart recipient. He's a great friend for veterans. And let's put our hands together for Francisco Urena.
In that same spirit, let me give a great round of applause to my good friend John McDonald. And let's give a good round of applause to Teddy Panos and the rest of the team here over at the Athenian Corner who are putting up with us. And again, that comment that John said earlier, make sure you treat the team here very nicely tonight because they are going out of their way to make sure that we have a very good time here in Lowell. And so, a tremendous amount of candidates that are here, many friendly faces. I want all the veterans that are here, raise your hands. Let's give our veterans a great round of applause. Thank you. Let's give our veteran families a great round of applause. And let's give all the friends of veterans, all who love veterans, all who love this patriotic country, a great round of applause because it's really, the veterans that are here, most our families who have paid a great sacrifice for our country, and that sacrifice cannot be forgotten. And, it's a lot of energy in this room, and I think it's the opportunity to grab that energy and replicate it. And not be apologetic about how we feel about our country, how we feel about our flag, and how we feel about our values. And it's now the time, from now to Election Day, the opportunity to go out there and knock on doors, go out there and rally people, not people that you already know, but people that you may not know, people that may not share the same connections that you all have, but together we could rally for those candidates that you feel passionate about. And tell them, display around the lies that have been told about these candidates, talk about the connections that you have to a candidate, to a personal friend, because I know a lot of the candidates here are some of your friends. And it's the ability to be able to make that difference when it comes down to the primaries, and more importantly, the final election in November. Look, a lot of great conversations are being held here today, probably at the same time that I'm talking to, which is okay. But more importantly, again, go out there and rally, talk about the love that you have for your neighborhood, the love you have for this state, the love you have for our country. And let's do more, because I think that we owe it to those who paid the sacrifice. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
I have the pleasure of introducing the next guest speaker, the state representative candidate for I think it's the Westminster area, Fitchburg. One thing that's becoming rather clear in this whole thing, I go back as far as Reagan. When Reagan stepped forward, everybody came out for Reagan, all right? There's a big change here. I'm looking at all this, and really is a diverse group. And it took a bunch of progressives to drive the real America out to vote. And that's what I see here. And this next gentleman I'm going to introduce came forward with saying, I got to do something, which I think is what everybody else is hearing. So it's with my great privilege to introduce former veteran and a candidate for state representative, Aaron Packer. And he's here.
Thank you, everybody. And I'm going to ask politely right now if those in the back could keep your conversation down so the rest of us can hear. All right.
Nice. Master size, right?
I found a meme saying today, I was just bebopping, ping-pong in my brain. Oh, what can I say? What can I do? I'm just going to be me. That's why I'm here. You became who you needed to be in order to survive. But now it is time to become who you need to be so you can thrive. And we're all here because we want to thrive. Not just us, but our children as well. Number one. We're all here under the same mindset. We all know the issues. We all know what's going on out there. We know that the left is just trying to push us off the cliff, and I ain't going down like that. Sorry. I can be most poetic and sweet in my speaking, but believe me, my projects can come out, huh, girlfriend? Yeah. I was born in the streets, but I had the privilege of also growing up in a suburban neighborhood. Last name, Packard. My mom, Beckett, she was from England. How appropriate that I am fighting for freedom today. She was my first grand donor. I love her. It's awesome. But Packard, here I'm going to give you a little history lesson that I need to share with you all. Why I'm running. All the way down the line. My grandfather told me when I was a teenager that there was a possible rumor, neither confirmed nor denied, that a Packard was the first one to fire that first shot heard around the world. I was amazed at the time. Whoa, what a burden. That's crazy. But then as I thought of it, it's weird. So, fast forward to now. I've been doing crazy research, as I do in everything. Right down to the nitty-gritty. I need to know what the truth, what the fact, what the bottom line is. Paying attention to detail. I was quartermaster supply infantry in the Army. And that's how I succeeded, because I was paying attention to everything. So I researched it down to 5 times great-grandfather. I am a real-life nephew of my great-great-great-great-great-uncle, Captain Lemuel Packard, that I discovered that he was the first one in my family to answer the Lexington alarm. Just talking about good clean electricity. I feel, no matter what the rumor is, I don't care. He was there, it's documented. He was there. I am forever connected to all of you here, to all of us moving forward. And that is why I tell everybody I meet, ever since the beginning of the year when I drew my papers to run for candidate, state rep, I am a patriot, a constitutional patriot, 100%. And to wrap this up, as there's my cue, in military honor, even though I'm a civilian, Jeff Teal, I'm so glad to see you. To me, in my mind, you are the colonel of this battalion, and I have your section. I will never take third silver, ever.
Aaron Packard, ladies and gentlemen. All right, here's another guy who stood by me in 2018. We had these... Jay, I'm talking about you, so you can be quiet in the back there. So you want to listen, you want to absorb this. 2018, this guy was an absolute marvel. He was running for Attorney General back then, and in 2018 we stood in this very restaurant together. I was a candidate for state senate, and we said, you know what, no matter what happens in our election, we're going to stick together, we're going to fight for our veterans, we're going to fight for the Republican Party, we're going to fight every single day, and we've done that. We've done that. Jay has done it. He's run for other offices. He's been fighting tirelessly. And once again, he's stepping forward to try to do something radical, but in the good way, for the state of Massachusetts. He's a veteran. He's a former police officer. He is an attorney who is amazing. And he is going to be our next Attorney General for the state of Massachusetts, Jonathan Moore!
$4 minutes. I'm an attorney. I get paid by the word. He said 4 minutes. Most of you know who I am. 4 years ago, I ran against Maura Healey. I came in second. That's not going to happen this time. This is a very diverse crowd, and this field of candidates are very diverse. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Speaking of diversity, I am a minority white guy. And to be further marginalized, I've been married for 30 years. And I got 5 kids, so I'm a breeder. But it's good to be here with you guys. So let's talk a little bit about what's the future hold and what's going on and what's on the horizon. First of all, how do you like $5 a gallon gasoline? How about $15 a pound bacon? These people are crazy. These people are making it worse every single day. They are our best salesmen. They really are. So, here's what we got. We got Maura Healey, who is the current Attorney General, and she's a terrible Attorney General, and now she wants to be governor. I hear you. I mean, come on. A governor who says the streets of Boston are burning, and she says that she knows that American cities are burning, but this is how forests grow? Maybe so, but this isn't how business grows. This isn't how communities grow, and it certainly isn't how the state grows. That's right. With her comments, she actually encouraged these Antifa thugs to do what they did in Massachusetts. She has no answer for that, but I do. My answer to that is that if these George Soros-funded Antifa thugs want to come to Massachusetts, have at it, come here, spend a little time, like 3 to 5 years. Okay, so on the other side, I've got 3 opponents who are actually in a circular firing squad. They're shooting at each other, and they're going to go through a primary in September. But they all believe in the same thing. They're all pushing the same agenda. They all say that the #1 issue that Americans in Massachusetts are talking about, the burning issue, is defunding the police. You know something? Do you ever notice that these liberal elitists never go to the next step? For instance, defunding the police. Well, let's look at it. What does this look like? Does it look like we cut their overtime? Do we cut their budget? Do we take away their resources so that they can't investigate crime? Do we take away their civilian staff so that the cops have to answer the phones and dispatch the cruisers? Can I tell you something? They don't think this thing through. When cops go into some of the worst neighborhoods in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, they go in because somebody called 911 screaming for help, and they show up no matter what their budget is. That's why we back the book. 2 minutes. I can say a lot in 2 minutes. I had a judge tell me one time, I got 2 more minutes. I said, great. I said to my client, that means 5. But I will only do 2. Okay, so folks, it goes like this. Well, everybody in here are American patriots. A lot of people, a lot of you signed my nomination papers, Jeff Deals, all the candidates here. You signed our papers. Thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate that. I know these candidates do. We also appreciate the donations that you give. Here's the issue. The Dems typically outspend us. So how do we make it up? We spend the money that you give us more wisely. We are careful on how we spend and what we do in the areas we target. But I will tell you this, I remember 4 years ago going all over the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and every city and town, every place where there'd be something there for invited us there, and I would run into Jeff Deal there. We were there all over the place. Never. So I want you to know that we are serious about this. We want to bring good government to Massachusetts. We want to protect your public safety. We're going to protect your property. We're going to protect your children in schools. And we are going to prosecute these people that would put this pornography and all this craziness on our kids. I'm going to investigate that. You're going to see an attorney general like you've never seen in 60 years. Thank you for your support. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
And watch out, folks. Love you, man. Love you. Ladies and gentlemen, Jay McMahon. All right, we are buzzing right through. We are making great time, folks, and I don't want that to be a signal to any of the candidates to take more time. All right, we're right on schedule, and we've got a few people. We've got about 4 more candidates, but one gentleman who I would like to introduce, he wanted to speak briefly, and he's running for state rep, Mr. Rodney Cleaves.
Thank you. I promise I don't need to be drummed off. Not accustomed to public speaking as I am. I mean, I was a preacher for 30 years, so what can I say? I want to tell you a little bit about what I'm not. I'm not a lawyer. I was not groomed to be a politician. I never wanted to be a politician. But I got so tired of the super majority of one party running roughshod over everything we tried to do. The way things are now in the House, there's nothing the Republicans can do if we don't get enough seats. We need to turn more of those seats into red seats. And that's what it comes down to. My biggest concern is the children. My wife and I have been foster parents for 30 years. We've had almost 500 foster kids in our house. We have our... And that's not a typo, by the way. We have ourselves 15 children of our own. Wow. And we have fought, can I get a round of applause? We finally, after an 8-year battle with the Chelmsford school system, we finally got my daughter into the school we want to get her into. So, thank you very much. I hope she sees this online. But anyway, you know, it's not only just the children, but I do care about them. But I'm not the kind of guy who says, for the children. You know, that's not the point. We spend a lot of money in this state on advanced placement kids, and I think that's great. But where are we spending the money on the special needs kids? And the special needs providers of the special needs kids? That needs to be addressed. We also need to address voter ballot integrity and the ballot itself. I've proposed to Bill Galvin that we should serialize every ballot and let him know where it goes. Oh, sorry, I said I wasn't going to need it.
I know.
That's not to track who you vote for. It's to track what happens if there's an audit. Yeah. And we also need to get rid of these drop-in mailboxes, the universal mail-out. If you want to vote as an absentee ballot, then apply for one and vote as an absentee ballot. I did that when I was in the Air Force. So, Dean, I visited your country for several months. And it's beautiful, by the way. We messed it up, didn't we? We really did. But okay, you know what? I'm not going to wait till I'm called off. I'm going to say, you know, I'm an Air Force veteran. I was in Vietnam. Woohoo! I was in the high-tech industry for 46 years. I retired from the Veterans Administration, and I just can't keep quiet any longer. That's what it comes down to. So before you grab me off, there we go.
Rodney, nice job, nice job. Next I'd like to bring up once again our good friend Dennis Galvin.
Thank you very much, Jack. Okay, so there has been several references to American history here. Aaron Packard was first. Rayla mentioned the Republican role in freeing slaves in the Civil War. We're going to update it a little bit now to something more recent to show this spirit continues. How many Vietnam veterans are there in this room? There's 1, 2, 3. All right. The next candidate that I'm going to bring up and introduce to you stems right out of the experience that you gentlemen had. All right. He had it too. He had it significant. He was one of the original boat people. He spent years in a refugee camp trying to find his way to America. And when he got here, this gentleman embodies, in my opinion, the best and most resolute qualities of the American character that I have ever met. And I mean that. This man has a real chance to knock out a blue seat out of Massachusetts and replace it with a red one. So, if any of you want to help us do that, I'm asking you to step forward, come see us, and put your name on, because we can use your help. But I'm going to let him make his own case. It is my great honor and privilege to represent to you former state senator from Fitchburg and the next U.S. congressman from the 3rd District, Dean Train.
Veterans in this room. Thank you. Well, good evening. If you guys are a proud American like I am, please make some noise. Oh boy, you guys sound like a bunch of miserable Democrats. Let's do that again. If you are a proud patriot like I am, please make some noise. That's it. I want to begin by thanking 2 very, very important people who have made tonight's event possible. And that is my good friend and veteran, John McDonald, for organizing this event. And the second person I would like to send my gratitude to, and he is an incredible human being who have made tonight's event possible, and for all of us to be here today, and for all of the candidates to step forward and to run and to win, and that is Joe Biden. Now, Joe Biden has made it possible for me to pay $5.05 per gallon of gas to come here. He has made it possible for all of us to be able to pay high record prices for food. And he didn't stop there. He also went beyond that and also helped us increase crime across the country by releasing over 700,000 illegal immigrants into our communities. And by all means, he helped us increase the drug rate coming into this country by 203%.
Thank you, Joe!
Thank you, Joe. But he didn't even stop there. He went beyond that, and he made it possible for people to be forced to put vaccine into the body and fired people who didn't take the vaccine. Right? And of course, we have to thank him for being the great world leader that he is, because other countries didn't even pick up his phone calls. So we have to thank him that. So thank John and Joe for making tonight's possible. I want to leave you with this. Okay, we've talked about diversity, and I want to touch a little bit on that. And we live in a state where the Democrat Party doesn't care about diversity. My God, I was the first Vietnamese American to be elected in the state. The first Vietnamese American to be elected to the state legislature. The first Vietnamese American, the first refugee, the first Asian born to be elected to the state senate. But they don't care. So, I am so proud to be part of this party. I am in a room here tonight with a a white man, a white woman, a black man, black woman, and a Hispanic candidate, a gay candidate, a refugee, an immigrant, an Asian. Well, if you ask the Democrats, I'm really not Asian. But the difference between diversity in both parties is that we are a party of individualism. We have a voice. The Democrat version of diversity is enslavement and control. So when November 8th comes, we are going to be the party of the big tent, the party of inclusion, and the party of winning.
Yes.
And thank you very much for being here tonight. Thank you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's put out another round of applause together for Mr. Dean Tran. All right, one guy that's also on the program keeps getting a little bit inadvertently ignored, and he's my right-hand man. Nothing happens in political universe without him. I can't do anything without this guy. In social media, I don't care if it's at work, anything else, Mr. Jason Ross. That's right.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for coming out here tonight. We have so many great candidates here. Like John said, I do digital, social media for so many candidates, so many of them in this room tonight. I want to thank them all for taking chances on me. And we're going to do all we can to get these great candidates elected. And there's so many great candidates, so many great districts. We're doing so well in this state that we're bringing the fight into the squad's backyard this year. They are scared. They are scared. No longer are they attacking us in the hard Republican districts. We're attacking them at every neck of the woods. And I'd like to introduce our next candidate, Donnie Palmer.
Now, Donnie, you don't need to get on the stage, clearly. All right, we're done. 4 minutes. Let's rock the house, my friend. Let's rock the house. Come on, give me a big up. Big up. How about that? I'm standing on stage and I'm just about to say that.
Hello, everybody. As he said, I'm Donnie Palmer. I'm happy to be here. I'm a Army veteran. Born and raised in Boston. I've been beating my feet for the last 2 years trying to turn Boston purple. You know, I've already signed up about 1,000 new Republicans, changing from independent over to Republican, some Democrats also. And that's what I've been doing. You know, my job is to deliver Boston to all of the candidates. Our job is to help each other. You know, I mean, we gotta help each other. That's the only thing we have to do. Like, we're not Democrats. We don't have lots of money. You know, we have to like each other's posts, reshare each other's posts. I mean, hang out, take pictures with each other, go to each other's events. You know, I mean, we have to adopt each other. And that's how I'm going to run my campaign, is helping everybody here. Because if I can turn Boston purple, it's going to help everybody. You know what I'm also here to tell you because what? I don't want to press you. I'm only saying I want to press you, you know? And I need all you guys' help. I mean, even in my district, I need you to tell your friends that in my district, hey, Donnie Palmer's going to sign on the president. We got somebody, you know, we got a live one here. I'm a live one. You know, I'm a winner, I'm a champ. You know, I also have a fight coming up. I'm a real fighter. And if I'm elected, when I'm elected to the United States Congress, anybody who's trying to fuck over the American people are not going to want to sit across the table from me. I'm a real fighter. You understand that? I'm a real fighter. You know, like I said, everybody's talking about these gas prices, but that was the squad members' goal, which was to ban all fossil fuels. Yep. That was it. They said that's what they wanted to do, right? So, what do you have to do now? I mean, it's dumb. I mean, how do you charge an electric car? You use fossil fuels, right? You know, and Another thing, raising money. We all need to come to each other's events. We got $5, $1, whatever it is. Give to everybody. If they're not in your district, just give to them. You know, because we need money to do things. We have to have events. Like, okay, this is what I want to do. I have to have events. I'm boxing. I'm fighting on July 16th. I'm raising money, and all my money is also going to the GOP. So a lot of the money from the ticket sales, I'm going to donate that to the GOP so it can help Jeff, Rayla, everybody. You know? That's also how I do that. That's how I also get a few bucks for myself, you know, to take my daughter out, get her ice cream, you know, pay my bills, you know, I have to fight, you know. But long story short, we have to help each other. You know, we have to be brothers and sisters. You know, we have to hold hands. I mean, suck it up. I mean, if you don't like somebody, it doesn't matter. We got to help each other. We're here to win.
That's right.
Win is coming. You understand that? So, hey, Matty Lynch, that's my guy. He's in the house.
Got it.
You know, if you guys want to come to the fight, talk to Matty Lynch. If you guys want VIP tables, talk to Matty Lynch. It's going to be a great show. We'll fight for the Intercontinental title. Okay? America will fight in Argentina. So America versus Argentina. Let's go. USA all day.
Got it.
Hey, I noticed another fighter in the house, Jack Roy, a big-time, long-time political activist. Let's put our hands together for my good friend Jack. Jackie Baby's what we call him out there in those parts. That's right. So when you're walking out, you say, goodbye, good night, Jackie Baby. That's right, he'll know what you're talking about. Next, all right, we've got, again, a great friend. He's a state committee man, Mr. Brian Janess.
Good evening, everybody. It's my pleasure to introduce the state rep candidate for my home district, the 36th Middlesex district of Tingsboro and Dracut. This candidate is taking on a 27-year entrenched hack. Someone who has been the ultimate backbencher on Beacon Hill and who has delivered absolutely nothing for our district. On the other hand, this candidate I know very well. It's my pleasure to work with him on the Dracut Republican Town Committee where he serves as our treasurer. This is a conservative, a person who will fight to protect our rights, not fight to squish them. A person who will support our police and fund our police, not defund our police. A person who will have common sense every single day on Beacon Hill. It's my pleasure to introduce George Bogue.
Thank you. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, John. Thanks, Jason, for having the event. Thanks to Teddy Panos for hosting us. Thank you all for coming out. This is a great turnout. This is a big deal that, we're here. It's early in the campaign, but we're still involved. So as Brian said, the woman I'm running against has been there 27 years. And if you haven't accomplished what you want to accomplish in 27 years, 2 more is really not going to make a difference. And just look at what the state legislature does. I mean, they can't vote to suspend the gas tax. Even Joe Biden thinks it's a good idea to do it federally. But they can't be bothered. But for something like illegal aliens get a driver's license, they can get that through in a couple of days. They can get the veto override through. So we need to get in there. We need to get enough people so that when Jeff gets elected governor, he can sustain it. That hasn't happened since Bill Well's first term. And I don't even remember if it was the Senate or the House. But in one of them, he was able to sustain the veto. And if you look at his first 2 years, he was able to get some stuff done. Yet, it doesn't matter who the governor is. Even when Deval Patrick was in there, he has to go hat in hand to the Speaker of the House and Senate President. So as long as there's a supermajority, doesn't matter who gets elected governor, he's still going to be up against it. So we have a lot of great candidates, and this is actually the second time I've run. I ran in 2010, kind of for the same reason I'm running now. You just look around and you see that you know, the world's going to hell, the state's at the head of that, and we need to just change the culture up there. So we need to get out and work, as the other people have said. You have to work, you have to write checks for candidates. You know, we need money to get out and run effective campaigns. So yeah, it's great to see all of you here. Thank you guys for putting the show on, and I don't want to get run off the stage by eating up my time, so I've said enough. Thanks.
George Bogue, ladies and gentlemen, George Bogue. Well, I saved the best. Well, I don't want to say he's the best, but he's certainly amongst the best because everybody's been so great tonight. But I heard it mentioned one point tonight. And before I get into this, I would remind everybody again once more, take good care of Teddy Panos and the staff. Let's tip our bartenders, let's tip our waitresses, let's tip these people. Let's make sure that the next time we have a rally, Teddy says, sure, no problem, bring them on, baby, that's right. Teddy Panos, let's put our hands together, Teddy, and the Athenian Corner. That's right, bathrooms are upstairs, food is in the kitchen. Let's do this, but I again say he is the field general of this election. The most diverse slate of candidates in the history of the state of Massachusetts. I met Jeff Deal many years ago. He's running for U.S. Senate, fighting the good fight against the worst senator in the state and the worst senator in the country, Elizabeth Warren. And it was neck and neck, but he fought the good fight. He's a guy that is not a quitter. He decided, you know what, I'm going to brush off the campaign dust from the last one, and I'm going to put together another great campaign, and I'm going to fight these bastards at Beacon Hill every step of the way. Let me tell you something, this guy is unbelievable. When I first met him, he gave me a call. He said, you know what, John, you know what I want you to do? I'm running for U.S. Senate. I've never met you before, but I understand you help out veterans. You know what? I don't even want to talk about my campaign. Come on the radio. Let's talk about veterans, assisting veterans. Let's talk about what you do. Let's see if we can raise some money and we can help other veterans. This is the type of guy he is. He's unbelievable. He's selfless. He's passionate. He cares deeply. He's fought for, you know, all kinds of bills on Beacon Hill when he was a state rep. I keep hearing, oh, Jeff Deal, you know what? He can't win anything. He lost the last election. He won 15 before him. So give me a break, folks. You know what? This is the media. This guy is unbelievable. He's a fighter. He's going to be our next governor, and he's going to show Massachusetts what it's like to have a real governor in the state house.
Come down.
John McDonald is nothing if not understated. Am I correct? This guy is amazing. Veterans Assisting Veterans has been in a group that's been doing a lot of great work up here in this region for a long time. But John ran himself in 2018 for a state senate, and I really applaud him for doing that work. But look, tonight, Lowell is the center of the universe for the Republican Party. Look at all the great candidates we have tonight. This is so heartwarming. Tell me when my 4 minutes are up. Would you mind?
I will.
Okay. So heartwarming. Springfield, just a couple weeks ago, was the center of the universe for the Republican Party, and I am so proud and grateful for 71% of the vote to be your endorsed candidate for governor. Thank you all for coming out there and making sure that our campaign is moving through. We are so excited about this campaign, and it's important. Coming back to Lowell, by the way, it's really great. The last time I was here was for Cambodian New Year, and you've got a great immigrant community in Lowell. This is really a wonderful city. And, immigration, I think Republicans are all for more people coming to America, having the same opportunities we've all had growing up. We just want to make sure that you do it legally. And providing driver's license for those who are not here legally is an incentivization to come. We also feel, like the governor does, that there's a problem with the fact that you'll become registered to vote. And we've got to make sure one person, one vote for all citizens is upheld here in Massachusetts. We mentioned a lot of veterans here. Francisco Urena's here. A lot of people fought and died for the rights that our country provides us, and the right to vote is right up there. I don't want mail-in balloting. We cannot have mail-in balloting. As was mentioned,
We have absentee balloting. It's the way to go, right? But Beacon Hill, their priority is not our priority. As mentioned earlier, I'm going to be saying this all night because we had great candidates talking about a lot of important issues. As mentioned earlier, Beacon Hill has had a chance to try to help us out, maybe lift the gas tax temporarily while we're struggling with this high inflation, with this high cost of trying to find food, right? With the fact that even baby formula, we can't even find baby formula in America right now? Come on, what is going on with America? We have got to make a change. We've got to make a change in 2024, but it starts right here in 2022, right? I came in 2010 in a wave year. We had the Republicans double the number in the House, and I think in 1990 it was when we had Weld come in. We actually were able to get the Senate to prevent a veto override. So I think this is going to be a year not like 2010, but more like 1990, and actually even more than 1990. Right now, we're seeing a wave that's all across the country. Look what happened down in Texas in a deep blue seat that was just flipped in a special election, right? So, we've got great candidates right here in Massachusetts, statewide candidates that are speaking up and speaking about the issues that matter to us here in our households, and we've got great candidates in the legislature that are going to win all across the state and provide us more balance in a Beacon Hill that is so far to the left right now that, again, their priority is not trying to help those who are suffering with the economy, but instead to reward those who are here illegally, okay? And on top of that, they spent $4 billion in a informal session with no amendments, no input from the public, with pandemic relief money, and they ended up spending things like $200,000 for a pickleball court in Beverly. Is that what we need right now? No! We need relief at the pump, we need relief in our households, we need tax relief in general. So my campaign is going to be about making sure that you, the American people, are listened to, not just on tax issues, but on education issues. We've talked about it. There's stuff in the curriculum right now that is very questionable, that our kids are being forced and being exposed to. Look, my wife and I tried to get rid of racism, make sure there's no racism in our household at all. It is the schools that are introducing racism through CRT and all of those programs that try to show that one kid is less equal than the other, and some kids evidently owe another kid because of that. That's not right. That's not what we're all about. We are about individual freedoms, as mentioned before. Everybody has the opportunity in America to succeed. But we have had 50,000 people leave Massachusetts just last year alone. 50,000 people left our state because they feel like they maybe can't make it here anymore. I'm selfish. I want my daughters to go off to college, or if you don't want to go to college, they don't have to go to college. But if they go out and they get an education, I want them to come back because I want grandchildren here. I want my parents, my in-laws, I want them to be able to stay here, to be able to afford to stay here. But right now, affordability is another major factor for housing. And transportation, again, look at the gas tax. So we've got Democratic candidates that are running right now that, it was mentioned before, want to get rid of fossil fuels by 2030. Look, I'm all for trying to put renewables into the mix, but the pace at which we're trying to do renewables is completely out of whack. There is no way that we can afford to do a transition as quickly as they want to. Even Elon Musk, who owns a company that deals with batteries, electric cars and batteries, says you have to have fossil fuels in the mix, right? We are siting wind farms right in the location of where our fishermen are. We are putting solar panels right in agricultural fields. We're clear cutting trees to put solar panels up. Does that make any sense right now? Okay, so you guys want a governor that's going to be listening to you, and I promise you, my time for 8 years on Beacon Hill was all about making sure the people who I represented had a voice on Beacon Hill. It didn't matter, if it was a popular on Beacon Hill or not. I was trying to make sure that I was doing the job I was elected to do. In 2014, I was proud to lead the repeal of the indexing of the gas tax. And by the way, if we didn't get rid of that indexing of the gas tax, can you imagine what the cost per gallon would be right now? With inflation the way it is right now. So, I just want you guys to take away tonight that we have got an incredible team across the field. We're going to work hard. I'm going to stand with every candidate that's running as a Republican because you know what? We're not deplorables. We are proud American citizens. We are proud Republicans of Massachusetts. We stand for the flag. We kneel for God. That's actually okay in America. It really is. And by the way, your healthcare choices are your healthcare choices. Government should not get in between you and forcing you to get a shot that you don't want to get a shot. Any state worker, anybody who's working for the state that was forced out of their job, I'm rehiring them on day one. And on day two, anybody who thought that was a good idea, they are out of the administration. There is no way they're getting a job right now. We're going to make sure that families and veterans, that everybody who wants to make it here in Massachusetts has a chance. And by the way, I've got an incredible running mate. Have you guys met Leah Cole Allen? Leah served with me on the legislature. She won 2 elections. She won a special election in a blue district, Peabody. She won re-election, and then she left the legislature to become a nurse. She was fired for not getting the vaccine. She was pregnant. She was pregnant during the pandemic, nursing, and didn't want the vaccine because she was concerned about the effects on their children. Ladies, you, I think, understand that should be a valid concern, but she did not get it at any sort of consideration as a nurse, and she was fired. She is angry, she's back, and she's running, and between Leah and I, we are angry enough to make sure that now, Democrats are going to know what you care about is what we care about. And again, we're not going to just win in November of 2022, but we are also going to support the Republican nominee, whoever that may be, and we're going to make sure they win in 2024. So that what's happening nationally gets reversed. So I'm just going to wrap up by saying that, again, I'm so proud of all the candidates that are running for congressional races, for statewide races, for state legislative races. They're incredible people. Adopt one of them if you don't like me or if you don't like somebody else here. That's okay. Adopt somebody else as a candidate because if you help them, you're helping the entire ticket. We've got to work together. We've got to unite as Republicans to win in this state. But you guys know it, you can feel it, it's out there. Everybody knows that it's time for a change on Beacon Hill. We need folks from the outside to come up there. You know, I obviously have served on Beacon Hill, but I've had 4 years to think about what we need to do to make sure that the state runs better. I am going to be committed to 4 years of working my rear end off to fix this state. And then, if we're lucky enough, maybe we'll get another 4 years to really push it in an even better direction. But you know what? It takes getting people out there to vote, and it takes making sure that we have the resources. So get out there, support your candidates, hold signs, do whatever you have to do. But know that I am right there with you, and I'll be back to Lowell every chance I get. Thank you guys very much for being out here.
Now we're going to put a plug in. It's Thursday at the Princeton Lounge in Chelsea. The Dean Train, we got a fundraiser that's going to be coming up. So Thursday at the Princeton Lounge. Everybody in this room, please attend that. But again, once again, I want to put our hands together for the entire slate of candidates. We're Hamilton Rodriguez, Hannah Aquinas, Jeffrey Sosa Paquette, Dean Tran, Joe McMahon, Randall Campbell, Ashimbo, we had George Bowe, Bruce Chester, who was good neighbor Scott Graves came up. We had Angel Pentoa, and we had Rodney Cleves, and we had Paula Miller, and I think I got everybody. So Tony Palmer, there we go. Thank you so much. Oh, Aaron Packard, there we are as well. I think I got everybody. I didn't mention that John Murphy's in the house. He's the chairman of the Tingsboro Republican Town Committee. He's in the house, and everybody else. So thank you for coming tonight. Let's rally. Let's continue to support our troops. And it's on to November. Thank you. Again, bathrooms are upstairs. Take your bartenders. Eat your food. Have a great time. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Man, I'm